Chrono Odyssey will allow players to select one out of 6 different class options within this game. However, in the upcoming closed beta test, you will only have the option to select from 3. Those 3 include the Swordsman, the Ranger, and the Berserker. What's great news is that we actually just got our hands on some great new footage from IGN to kind of really showcase each of these 3 different classes to help you make sure you make the right decision in this upcoming beta test. Let's go ahead and start in alphabetical order, starting with the Berserker. As we can tell, this is a very buffed up character that is focused on melee attacks. And again, we can expect that this is a very DPS oriented class and a little bit less tankier than a class like the Swordsman because we don't see any shields being utilized here. Instead, they can specialize in 3 different weapons, including the chain blades, the twin axes, and the battle axe. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of the actual gameplay footage. And again, the full video for this IGN video is in the description of the video. There's tons of more information in there, so if you're interested, go ahead and jump in and take a closer look. So right off the bat, you're going to tell that the UI is pretty straightforward here. You can see you've got the 2 weapons on the bottom there, along with the 4 different skills associated with each of the weapons. Within the actual combat, you can swap between the 2, dish off a ton of different combos, and then swap back over to the next weapon. There are tons and tons of different combat modes, it seems like, whether it's PvE or PvP or PvEVP, tons and tons of unique content, it seems like. And overall, I'm very, very excited to mess around with the Berserker class and learn a little bit more about the optimal combos and weapon combination between the different options we have. I'm going to go ahead and continue playing the rest of this footage just so you guys can get a closer look and feel of what's expected with the Berserker class. But again, it seems like there is a combination of tons of unique single target combos that you can do to dish off tons of burst damage, as well as a handful of unique AoE damage to take down larger clumps of enemies in case you have to. So that really covers it for the Berserker class. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which I know is a fan favorite, and that is, of course, the Ranger. So when it comes to the Ranger, they specialize in 3 different weapons. You have the option of the bow, which seems like their primary source of damage output, the crossbow, which seems like it offers a lot of crowd control abilities, and then the rapier, which again is more of a close combat melee type weapon in case your enemy gets a little bit too close for comfort. Now, I will admit the overall gameplay for Ranger looks really, really good. We can see that the attack speed for the crossbow is extremely quick, just tons and tons of numbers popping up. We'd love to see it. And it also looks like the actual primary bow has unique skills and abilities when compared to the crossbow. As we continue to watch, you can see that there does seem to be some like elemental things going on. Maybe this is dependent on like ammo or the ability. Like right there, we kind of froze some enemies in a AoE like skill that looked like to be pretty effective and slowed them down a bit. But again, time will tell once we get some more specifics about each and every skill available for each of these weapons for the Ranger. As we continue to look at this gameplay, we get a closer look at some of these charged single target abilities, as well as some rapier action. So again, lots of different kind of combat styles when it comes to the Ranger. Last but certainly not least, we have the Swordsman. The Swordsman seems like it has more of a balance between offensive and defensive type of skills, but again, time will tell once we actually jump in and get to play this game ourselves. The 3 weapon options that you have when it comes to the Swordsman is the Greatsword, the Sword and Shield, and then also the dual blades. As we jump into some of the gameplay, we can start to tell that depending on the weapon that you're actually holding, really impacts the overall gameplay of a Swordsman. You can be extremely offensive, like with a Greatsword, or you can be a bit more balanced and a little bit more safe in a way while utilizing the Sword and Shield by using the shield to actually block certain attacks that come your way. There's actually a big part of me that wants to really test out the Swordsman in this beta test, primarily because you have the quick ability to alternate between offensive and defensive very quickly. We can see in some gameplay footage right here, you see a slightly different UI, and that's primarily because I believe this is some UI layout of using a controller or a console. So again, very, very easy to understand and quick to learn based on what we see today. Even in this one-on-one fight, you can kind of see how easy it is to alternate between offensive and defensive with the swordsman class. So again, it seems like a pretty fun class, especially if you're looking for some solo content. So again, I definitely will be checking this out in the beta test to learn a little bit more about what's actually capable with the swordsman class. And that covers it. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and give it a like and consider subscribing for some more Chrono Odyssey content coming soon. Also, let me know in the comments below on which class you plan on playing and why. Thanks again, and I'll catch you guys later.